was in such disbelief. And I guess they told us like how it had happened. I just must not have heard them or whatever. They just kept saying that he was dead and that they found him at Lake Stevens, and they were asking us all these questions. And of course we were just answering, I don't want to say like out of body, but it was just like you were watching yourself get this information thinking it's not true. Like in the back of your head, you're just thinking, why would somebody kill him?
Welcome to Creepalachia. We have a very somber episode today, but an important episode with the family of David Fann, who was murdered. So, 2016, David was found in Raleigh County, West Virginia, and it's still unsolved as to who did it. Is that kind of where we're at?
Yes.
Okay, we have Dana Fann, we have Diana here, and we have Kaden, who is Dana's kid, David's grandkid, and they're going to tell us the story, their experience about David to memorialize him, but also hopefully put some information out there to help solve this crime. That's the ultimate goal. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Obviously, it's a very traumatic experience. You told me when you came in, Dana, worst day of your life, obviously, and things kind of just unraveled, and it's been a very rough time for the family. Let's start off with some backstory. So tell me about growing up. Where did you all grow up?
We grew up in Amigo. It's right on the border of Raleigh and Wyoming County. Mom and Dad built a house there, the one we grew up in. We lived there for, I guess
our entire life.
Yeah, our entire life. Probably, I guess it got finished being built about 79. So, Dad, of course, always worked on the house, did odd stuff around the house. He worked a lot. He was always,
Dad was
something.
an entrepreneur. He always had different businesses, but his main business at that time when we were growing up was construction.
Yeah.
Okay.
He built a lot of schools in Wyoming County, did a lot of different construction jobs for folks in the county and in particularly the Mullins area. So our house, he's kind of self-made. I mean, he and my mom started out rehabbing trailers at the time. He also owned a water company at one point. And he saved up enough and built our house that we grew up in. My mom still lives in that house. I am back in that house with her.
But he grew up very poor. I mean, they had little to nothing. He would walk so he could work. He worked at a little place called the Redbird. When he was 18, 19 or so.
Redbird, what's that?
It was like a little, sort of like a drive-in.
Like food?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
Okay,
food.
gotcha.
Yes.
So typical Appalachian grit, survivor squeezing a dime out of a penny type stuff.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He always worked. He could take, the kind of talking about squeezing, $1 out of a dime. He would take rundown houses and rehab them and rent them or sell them. He did that until he was murdered. He continued to do that into his later years. Very, very hard worker. Always working. Always into multiple things. Always had new business ideas. in the mid to early to mid 80s, he actually purchased a food trailer.
Oh, nice.
And recreated the Redbird. So we owned a restaurant for approximately 10 years.
Wow.
So when I was 12, whatever year that was, I'll tell my age, but mid 80s, we started that restaurant. We had curb service. That was his primary hobby, I guess, for a while. And then he went back to construction. But he was good at getting things up and going. And then he wanted somebody else to kind of take it and run with it. He's owned car washes. I mean, just a very entrepreneurial, hardworking individual.
Yeah. So that trailer is like a family business. Did y'all all hop in? Like, all right, Dana, tend the cashier.
There. They were too young. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I worked there my entire teenage years, every day. Probably when I was 16, I could run it in terms of inventory and closing the registers out. I could cook, I could pack order. I mean, there was nothing I could not do.
Kill the cows, slaughter the cows.
I'll pass on that.
Okay, gotcha.
But we had, I mean, it was kind of like the hub of the community at that time. There was a lot of coal activity, you know, during that time. So we had a lot of business, a lot of families. It was the hangout spot in our community. I want to say when I was maybe around 1990, he sold that business to another community family. And they ran it for some time, and that business has since, shuttered. But the community that we're in is, there's not a lot of families. It's kind of a dying coal community.
Yeah, I got you. Hey, we ain't dying. We're just reforming. We'll put it that way. Hate to ask, can you take that bracelet off? I'm hearing it clang on it's a beautiful bracelet. Yes. But I want to make sure to keep the audio good. All right. So that's great. So life growing up, is there a lot of things, and Diana, you can hop in here. Is a lot of things you learned from your dad, or was he kind of like, more of lead by example type?
I mean, he taught us hard work. I mean, honestly, there were a lot of things. I mean, he was usually there in the evenings, but most of the time he was always working. We'd go with him sometimes. And I can remember being little and just barely small enough to hold anything. And he'd let me help him when he had the car wash to get quarters out of the car wash. And I thought I was big and bad, getting to help Dad. I was working, and sometimes we'd like run down to the Dairy Queen and get something. He'd let us, of course, then you could ride in the back of the truck, and we'd all jump in the back of the truck thinking we were something big, going down the road to the Dairy Queen to get ice cream or whatever. But yeah, Dad taught us a lot of stuff, especially about working and just always, if you wanted it, you could do it. You just got to get out there and work for it and do it.
Yeah. And he instilled it in my dude, Kaden here.
Yep.
Y'all told me he's firing up about 23 businesses. I don't know. He's running through all his plans. So we got a lawn care here in Mullins area if you need it.
Beckley.
He's
staying in Beckley.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's staying in Beckley. Gotcha. What's the name of your business?
KFO Outdoor Innovations.
There you go. All right. You need some weed eating done. I'm talking to him about some pavers outside. We're going to do a whole thing. But so it's evident he was very loved and obviously very missed. And 9 years sounds like a long time, but I'd say it's extremely long when you consistently hear that the case isn't solved yet. And I'm sure that's very sad for you and frustrating and all of that, which we'll get into. So, who wants to take this first? If you could walk me through that initial phone call or what you heard the day of David's murder.
I mean, I can start if that's okay.
Sure.
So I worked at Raleigh General, and I was working, it was a 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. shift. And I was actually running late that morning. So as I went by their house, he was pulling in the driveway there at Mom's. And he honked, and I honked at him, and I was running late, so I didn't stop or anything. And I worked my shift. It was probably about, I want to say it was around 5 or 6 in the evening. I got off a little bit early. And I'm diabetic, and my blood sugar had dropped. So I stopped by CVS to pick up something to eat so I could get my blood sugar up. And Dana had texted me, and she said, "Hey, come to the house." So she was out off Vine Street and Dorcas Avenue. And me and Kaden we're always like messing with one another. And I thought, he's texting me, wanting me to come by, want to show me something or something. And I was like, no, I'm tired. I'm going to go on home. And she said, come to the house. And I was like, okay. So I called her, and I was like, what's going on? And she was like, I can't tell you, but just come to the house. Just get here safe. So I was like, okay. So I called my husband, and I was like, hey, I'm going to run by Dana's. Something's going on. I don't know what, but she's wanting me to come to her house, but she acted like something was wrong. So I pull in, and there's a couple vehicles sitting there. And here I'm like totally confused and don't know what's going on. And I walk in the house, and Dana's standing there, and a couple of the officers are standing there. And I'm thinking, something bad's happened just because, And the first thing they said was, can you have a seat for us? And I'm like, sure, what's going on? And so then they asked when I had seen Dad last. And I was like, sort of confused as to why they'd be asking that. And so I told them, I'd seen him this morning and on my way to work. What was going on? And they said that they had found him at like Stevens, that he had passed away. And I was in total disbelief, total denial, didn't make any sense to me. Like, why would he be, can't imagine your parent being dead. I mean, that's just crazy. And so they kept asking questions, and I'm like, y'all are stupid. I know they thought I was crazy because I kept going, y'all are stupid. Dad would not even be out there. And I said, where is he at right now? And the guy said, well, we sent him to Charleston to the coroner's office. And I'm like, see, y'all are crazy. Y'all don't even know what you're talking about, because he don't drive on the interstate. And it was so, like, looking back, I'm thinking, this is the craziest thing, because Dad never drove on the interstate. He never, it just wasn't him. So I guess finally it sort of dawned on me that I guess they're telling the truth, but I didn't want to believe him. So I just kept saying, no, y'all are wrong. And so they asked us questions and, said, we're worried about Mom, because Mom would have been, home by herself. And so we just decided, me and Dana just kind of decided, well, we need to go be with Mom, because when, she's going to find out, she's not going to have anybody with her or anything. And so we left her house, went to Mom's, and my other sister had made it there at that time. And I still was in such disbelief. And I guess they told us like how it had happened. I just must not have heard them or whatever. They just kept saying that he was dead and that they found him at Lake Stevens. And they were asking us all these questions. And of course we were just answering what we knew to answer.
Was it like a surreal feeling like you were there, but you weren't really
Right.
there?
It was like you were, I mean, I don't want to say like out of body, but it was just like you were watching yourself get this information thinking it's not true. Like in the back of your head, you're just thinking, why would somebody kill him?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, 75, he was just an older gentleman. I just couldn't imagine somebody wanting to do something to him.
It's almost like you heard them talking, but you couldn't process it.
Right. Or almost like you didn't want to process it.
Yeah, it was, when they first got there, I had a bunch of kids in the yard, and they had to knock a couple of times, and I let them in. And they asked me if I was related to David Fann. So I said yes. And it was just, can we come in? And they wanted me to sit down. And, they told me that he had been found. Did not give me any details on what had happened. But it was just very... And of course, they had questions. They're trying to piece together who he is. And I'm trying to answer, but I don't, at that point, you can't think.
Sure.
We've done multiple follow-up interviews, relayed any bit of information that we have. It was just it's a night that I wouldn't wish on anyone ever.
Yeah.
Almost like a dream. To me, it's more like, and even still today, it's like it's a dream. And I know that life's going on and I know that things happen, but I still, somewhere in the back of my mind, it's like, you're going to wake up and it's not going to be true.
Yeah. How often did y'all talk every day or weekly?
Pretty much talk to
All the
Dad every
time.
single
Our
day.
family has Sunday dinner. We have for years.
Oh, nice.
And you could have something to do that day on a Sunday, and you could tell them you weren't going to be there. He would call and want to know where you were.
Yeah.
He expected you to be at that table. I mean, not...
That was our time. That was our...
Well, it's important because life
gets a huge family.
Right.
Even with his family, he had 2 brothers and a sister, very close to them always. But our family, once we got up and had our own lives and moved out, you were expected to be there at 3:00 on Sunday for dinner. We still do that to this day.
That's beautiful. Can I come?
Sure.
Okay. Just I got to get some invites here while I'm here. Well, it sounds like y'all had a beautiful relationship, and we're going to break it down some more. I'm curious, Kaden, obviously you were younger. How old were you around this time period?
9.
You was 9 years old. So
Still remember.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you were old enough to know David and your grandpa and
we were very close. I mean, so when I was younger, her job required her to go out of town a lot. And so I stayed with her mom, and usually either me and her mom would sleep when I was younger, way younger. We'd sleep in this back bedroom where she stays now, which it has a big bed, or we'd just pile up in the little bed, which is my room down there now, but it was his room. But no matter what, we'd go in there every night or whatever and talk to him and watch Shark Tank with him because he was a investor. So that's kind of where that came from. We are very close. Like, even from a young age, he was super good to me and her son, Eric. Yeah. He's very, I don't know. I guess it's like they kind of always wanted a boy, and they had 3 girls, and then their girls had kids, and it was like all boys for a little bit there. Yeah. So her mom and her dad were very close. the us, would always take care of us, do whatever, would take me to work with him. Well, what was his work, which was just whatever he felt like doing that day. Have me putting boards on something when I was 5.
Yeah.
Fishing.
Yeah.
He loved to fish.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where'd you go fishing at usually? Artie
The
Bailey
house.
or Oak? Where?
The house where
The
we
guy in
live.
the river runs behind my mom's.
Yep. Live on
Yeah.
the river.
Guyandot's one of the hidden gems
Yes.
of Appalachia.
What a
Well,
trout.
Some monster trout.
I mean, we know about the Guyandot. I mean, a lot of people know about the Guyandot, but beautiful place. Definitely check it out. So you learned a lot. Obviously, you're implementing a lot of that knowledge. Would you say your entrepreneurship came from him, or is it like he helped me along to find my entrepreneur spirit?
Honestly, I never thought about it with him or talked about it with him, but it's kind of just like, looking back on it, I feel like that is where it came from, because it didn't really come from anywhere else. My dad's side of the family had a business, but they never really, it was closed before I was alive, and they never really had put that into me or talked to me about it. And I kind of just took off with it. And we've always said it came from him and him teaching me. Because I mean, I used to ask him, I'd be like, Papa, when are you going to retire? I mean, you're getting old. Like, I'd tell him, and he'd say, I'll work till the day I die.
Yeah.
I'll retire when I die. I mean,
If you or if you love what you do and you never work a day in your life, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Well, and to give y'all some backstory on Kaden, he came in and I was like, I'll hire you. And he's like, oh, well, I'll get someone to do it. And then I'll collect my percentage and they'll come out and they'll do it. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, I got a crew out right now cutting grass. I'm like, all right, buddy, calm down. My dude's out here slinging greenbacks in the hills.
I wish.
Yeah. So, well, thank you for joining and telling us about David. Dana kind of described to me, Diana gave her account. So give me your account of that day, where it started and where it ended up.
So actually, I had spent the night with him on Tuesday night. He was killed on Wednesday, June 22nd of 2016. And Kaden and I had spent the night there the night before.
Mm-hmm.
So before we left that morning, I was going to work. He was going to daycare. We went in and talked to Dad. He was still in bed. Talked to him, said, we'll see you later, perhaps. You know, Kaden went in, gave him a kiss. We went on about our day. I got home, I'm going to say 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of neighborhood kids would come. We live on a dead end. So I had a lot of neighborhood kids there in the front yard, and I see this car pull up. 2 gentlemen get out. They're in regular clothing. So I thought they may be selling something, so I did not answer the door when they knocked, and they were very persistent. So I cracked the door and asked them what they needed, and they said, you know, can we come in? We're with the Raleigh County Sheriff's Department. And I'm still, in my mind, thinking they're there for a donation.
And get your sticker on the door.
Exactly.
And all that stuff. Yeah.
So I said, you know, what do you need? And he said, do you know David Fann? And I said, yeah, that's my dad. And I said, is something wrong? And I'm thinking, okay, he drove slow, so possibly an accident, you know, something along those lines. And they asked again about coming in. So I let them in. They asked me to have a seat. And I said, what is going on? Like, I was getting I'm a very forward person. So I'm sure that whatever I said was very forward.
Right.
And they said that your dad was found today at Lake Stevens, that he was dead. And I'm like, huh? Like, that doesn't even make sense. And I said, you know, is it suicide or did he have a heart attack? Or, you know, you never think murder at 75. Very overwhelming. They said it was not suicide. It was not a heart attack, that they were treating it as a homicide. At that time, they did not relay how he died. I don't know that I even asked. You know, you're just sort of in shock. You don't know what to say. Very upsetting, obviously. Called her, got her over there with me. We answered questions, I'm going to say, for an hour or two. I called Kaden's dad to come and pick him up. He was at work, and I called him to come and get him, and we did not tell Kaden then. And we went to my mom's, and the following day, several sheriff came to my mom's and asked a lot of questions. I guess they're trying to determine who he was or what motive may have caused him to be murdered. It's just been a whirlwind for 9 years.
There's no doubt. Is there a certain time when it hit and everything just was like, because I don't know if that just, I have no experience, obviously, but I just imagine comes a point where you're like, Dad's gone. Like it's kind of sinks in, or does that not, is it just instantly your life has changed completely?
So my life changed instantly. I never moved back home. I've stayed with my mom, except for a period during COVID when our other sister stayed. I've stayed with her ever since.
How did she handle the news?
I think the same, just as you would expect. Very shocked, very overwhelmed. Had questions constantly. Why?
It's kind of crazy because they had a really strange relationship, because when they were married, they fought. But once they got divorced, they got along better than they ever had.
Sure.
I mean, I guess because they had that freedom that, like, Dad would come stay with her, and then they'd have a squabble, and then he'd move out for a little bit, and then he'd end up back, and then they'd have a squabble, and he'd move out. So it was kind of like
normal.
Yeah. I mean, they got along good and had one another's back and knew that they needed one another.
Sure, yeah.
There was a turning point. She had open heart surgery in 2010. And from that point, he never moved back out.
Okay.
And then the following year, he had some health issues. So he took care of her, and then she turned around and took care of him the following year. And then it was just, they lived together.
Sure. Yeah. Makes sense. Do you remember the day where they officially said, like, this was a homicide, we're investigating it?
The night that they came to my house.
Oh, okay. So they did say that eventually night.
That night, they told me, because I said, did he have a heart attack or a car accident or suicide? And they said no, that it was a homicide. But they did not give any details.
Oh, man. That's so, it has to be so shocking. Because, like you said, you just saw him that morning. Was he driving the Toyota? Was that his truck?
Yes.
The blue Toyota? Was it like a single cab? Or
it's a double cab.
Double cab Toyota? Okay. And we got a license plate number here, which I'll pull up that I can read later before the show's over. But I'm interested, Kaden. So tell me about your experience as a young lad of that day. Do you specifically know where you were at?
Yeah. So me and a kid that was neighbors on both sides, they were over, and there was this one specific hole. I don't know why. I was just young. I thought it was fun to dig in the ground, and she would get mad. So every time she wasn't paying attention, go get some shovels and dig it deeper. And I was standing right there digging it, and the car rolls up, and there's two guys that's looking at me, and I go over to him and ask him, I was like, hey, do you need something? And he was like, is your mom here? And I was like, yeah, why do you need my mom? Like, who are you? And he was like, well, we just need to talk to her about some work stuff. So I was like, okay, yeah, she's inside. And I guess they parked and went over there. I didn't pay no attention. There was a few times I'd went in the house to grab a water or grab a drink or whatever. And she would be like, you need to go back outside. Like, this is work. Like, just, I'll get you in a little bit, whatever. And then a little bit later, I go over to the house that's across the street. She's an older lady, very nice. She'd always give me drinks and stuff. So got a drink from over there, came back, and then eventually went over to one of my friend Chance's house that was beside it. Mom had told me to go over there and said my dad would be there in a little bit. So I seen those two leave at the same time with the detectives or whoever it was. And then my dad came and told me, he was like, you're going to stay with me for a few days. Your mom she has to go to Grammy's and help Grammy for a little bit. And she'll tell you more about it later. So I was like, okay, whatever. And like, I kind of knew, like, I was thinking about it. I was like, that's not my mom. Like, my mom wouldn't do that and not like just leave like that. So I kind of knew something was up, and I was like, well, if she's going to help Grammy, it's not Grammy. So I thought that it was, I kind of had that feeling. I was like, did something happen to Papaw? Like, but then it was just like, I didn't know. So whatever. And I think it was a few days later, maybe a Saturday or a Sunday, and all the kids got there, and he had just got this one chair, like that everybody loved it, has buttons on it, goes up and down. Everybody'd play on it, and then they'd come yell at us because you're not supposed to play on the recliner, whatever.
And you do it anyway.
Yeah, we do it anyway.
Okay.
So me, Eric, and Adriana, the younger cousin of ours, that's the other sister's daughter. We were all sitting there, and they kind of just told us, hey, it was like, Papaw's not coming home. And I guess we really just didn't understand it. I mean, we were young, so we were like, okay, like it never hit us like that. And I just kind of, like, the next few days, I could see it was like real, and had the funeral, all that stuff, which they were a mess.
Do you think did you have a moment where you really, like, did you understand at first when you heard he wasn't coming back, or did you have just a moment of sadness, or do you remember what it felt like?
No, I really didn't know what they meant. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was just like, well, he's not coming back. Like, he moved away. He's not coming back. I was like, that's kind of what it was at first. I mean, I kind of think that all of us thought the same thing. I mean, we're 9 years old. We've never really seen that happen before, heard about that happen before. I mean, and then I kind of understood that night, like the next day, because I was saying, like, why are you getting all these pictures? And she was like, well, Papaw passed away. And I was like, oh, because then that's kind of how I really realized. So that's kind of where that went, and all I can really remember from those few days right there.
It was kind of odd. The days afterward, it took us 9 days to bury him. He was at the medical examiner's office.
Because of the investigation aspect?
Yes. And then he wanted to be cremated. And the sheriff asked, there was a lot of information gathering in those days and working with the sheriff's office. So it was kind of busy, very busy. And then they had to get clearance for him to be cremated. So when that happened, I started thinking maybe we need to preserve the body.
Because of exhumations?
Yes. So I did some research and purchased a certain type casket. My mom picked the casket out, and I made sure it was a hardwood. We have a sealed vault. Anyway, so we ended up going that the route to preserve the body.
Wow. What? That's something I never would have thought of. How unfair.
When they needed clearance
Yeah.
to give him a cremation, it dawned on me, like, maybe we don't need to do this.
Yeah.
He may turn over in his grave because I buried him instead of cremating.
No.
I'd say he would be very proud of you for making that hard decision, because if he could make the choice, I'm sure he would have. So
Yeah, I just did not want, I wanted to be solved.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to make the wrong decision and damage anything.
Sure. Yeah. Whew. I'm sorry, y'all. It's just awful. And now it's still an open wound. I mean, it's always going to be awful, but at the same time, you don't know exactly what happened. And we're trying to figure that out. And as each year passes, it gets tougher, I'm sure.
9 years later, and we have agreed to come on here and talk and put attention back on him. Hoping that someone will remember something. But it's almost as painful as the day that we buried him to come and talk about it again.
Sure.
I told you early on, that's probably the day that broke me. I have never been the same since.
In what particular ways? Like you kind of withdrawn now, or?
I stay away from people more now. I have taken on a lot more responsibility in terms of his, managing his estate or being the lead on the investigation, taking care of our mom, just things that she needs. I mean, just day to day around the house. Is, I don't know. I'm very distrustful of people. I think that the fact that it was a multiple stab murder indicates a rage killing. So I look at people now and I'm like, are they capable of that? I cannot put myself in that mental place.
Yeah.
I mean, we all get mad and, say like, oh, I'm going to kill you, or, you get frustrated over certain things. But I mean, to actually do that to another human being.
Yeah.
And then walk away. Like, how can you do that? How do you live with yourself? I mean, I've done things wrong in my life, and they bother me afterwards. We all have, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get up out of bed every day knowing what you did to another human being?
Yeah. And it still happens every day. It's
Insane.
It is. I would imagine, I know why you would feel that way. Like, of course, the possibilities of getting murdered is very low, but it's not low when your family goes through something like this. So you look at it as, if it can happen to me, anyone out here could be capable of doing this. So I understand that. And it's very...
I think the decisions you make in life, like, he gets frustrated with me because I want to know where he's at, what he's doing. I want to know he's safe. And I tell him, he gets mad. But I'm like, you are my most prized person. And I can't not check on you. I've already been through it once, so I have this heightened sense of protectiveness towards him. I have it with my mom.
Yeah.
And I think going through something like that, it makes you bitter at life at times. I think it makes you overthink. You're always thinking ahead. Like he's taking pilot lessons. And he gets frustrated because I'm so scared the first couple times he goes up. And I'm like, I can't lose you.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I'd imagine.
I think just your perception in life toward a lot of things changes.
Yeah. Well, you look at like, well, if this can happen, anything can happen. Probably. Like, so I imagine when he's getting his pilot license, you think worst case scenario.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah. And now, all while Caden's wanting to live his life. And then, you know, I'm sure he rebels like every kid. We all did.
I will say this. I am very lucky for what we've been through and the, you know, picking your life up and just moving. I have a great kid.
For sure.
Great kid.
I mean, starting a business at 18, you know, even
16.
if
it was 16.
Oh, you started at 6. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
As
look
soon
at
as
you.
I could drive.
Yeah, man. Well, Caden, also, you got a good mom. I'm sure you know that.
Oh, yeah.
But very, very strong Appalachian women in the studio today. I appreciate y'all being here. Diana, did the family get closer because of this in a weird way? Or, you know what I mean? I imagine there is.
Yeah.
That's the silver lining.
That is because we're tight. Like,
This is completely off topic. It's a complete craziest thing. There was an incident and her kid ended up in the hospital one night. I was up there before they left in the ambulance. I made it all the way up there, stopped, got them stuff, and she was like, "You need to go home. You have school." I was like, "Nah, I'll be fine. Like, it's more to be here than to go home."
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing. I think stuff like this really shows your true colors. I mean, it's like it forces you to be close because you have to be, because you want to be there for your family. You want to make sure that they're okay. If they need help, you want to help them.
Sure. Well, yeah, and you don't want to. I imagine there's a lot of like, well, I got to do this because what if?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it helps you enjoy those times that you have together. Like when we go on vacation together, the memories we make and the things that we do together, like you can't replace family for anything.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, like me and her, we're like besties now. We were close before, but like first thing in the morning, I'm texting her, she's texting me. That's just us. If she's got something going on, I've got something going on.
Sure. That's beautiful. Where y'all go on vacation? Myrtle Beach?
Shuri Beach.
Where's that?
It is 20 miles south of Wilmington.
Oh, okay.
It's a very small beach town on Pleasure Island, just south of Carolina Beach.
I love that place. Been there.
Okay, so on the southern end of the island is Curie.
Okay.
You cannot build over 34 feet in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no high rises.
Which is 3 stories ish.
We've gone on vacation there for
Like 50
40 years.
No dirty Myrtle?
No.
Okay. Yeah, we ain't
take
doing
my
it.
mom. My
I
mom
went this
doesn't.
year, but
My mom doesn't ask for much. She wants oceanfront.
Mm-hmm.
She wants a roof over the porch, and she wants rocking chairs. And she has some mobility issues now. So we have bought some wooden pathways. We lay those pathways across the dune so that she can get across there.
Oh.
And we take her out. She has her beach time. She's feisty. She'll be 83 this year, and she is as feisty as they come.
nobody can help her. She's doing what she wants when she wants. If she wants to cut the grass, she's gonna go cut the grass. You're not gonna
She
stop
loves
her.
to mow grass.
Oh, really?
We have a riding lawnmower that is
150 years old.
25 years old, maybe.
Yeah.
I have replaced every part on this lawnmower.
Because she won't buy another.
She won't let me buy it
Right.
because she can't learn something new.
Right.
So I've sent it in for a total rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's
Appalachian grandma. I mean,
She is.
yeah,
She is.
that's
She is.
man. Well, thanks for telling me about her. No Pigeon Forge, none of the staples, ish.
We've done that a couple
We've
of
gone
times.
to Pigeon Forge a few times.
Few times.
Yeah, it was funny. We had this big cabin one year, and I remember this. It was themed like bears. And one morning we looked out the window and there was like 4 black bears sitting in the parking lot right beside our cars.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay. Yeah, I gotta watch the trash. Well, so on that, to talk about David, I imagine that first trip was very sad, but also like, how did you move on, or have you moved on? You just have to.
I'm going to say, so for me, I have to put it in a box and put it up on the shelf. I stay very busy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just leave it in the box. I was daddy's girl growing up. So that day was devastating. There was a couple years afterwards that I don't know that I dealt with it very well.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way I have learned to deal with it is box it and put it on the shelf.
Yeah,
Diana?
imagine.
I feel like I kind of do that too. I mean, I feel like you have to move on. I mean, anybody could just be sad and just roll over and die, and that would do nobody any good. I mean, I feel like you kind of just have to go on, and you always have that hope that you'll find out, who did it and get some justice. But it's still not going to bring him back. I mean, and that's my thing, is sometimes I have to just say to myself, even though I know it's wrong, that it didn't happen, or that you do box it up and you put it away, because there's so much life to live that you can't just dwell on it. Dad would be all upset if he thought we would, we're sitting here mourning over him, and he'd be like, get up and go and do your thing. I feel like he would want us to go do, but then in turn, he deserves that justice. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, I think, is, we know we can't bring him back, but just finding justice is, I feel like, is the main thing.
Yeah. Got to remain hopeful somehow, but what about you, Kaden? You just kind of remember the good times you had, and
so it's kind of crazy. When we go to the beach, or when we went with him, we wouldn't really do anything together. I mean, like, we'd talk, whatever, but we never really did anything. We'd go fish on the pier 1 or 2 times here or there, but we never really, like, he's kind of a person, which might be bad to say because Sam's in here too, but all the guys in the family are the same. We don't like the sand. We like to go to the beach and we like to sit there. We don't like to go on the beach. She had to beg me. I went on the beach for 20 minutes on the last day because I really did not want to go. But I mean,
preach, Caden. I hate it, but we go.
Oh.
I mean, for some reason, it's just
gotta suck it up sometimes.
Yeah, it's like, you're from West Virginia, you're going to the beach.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what it is. But yeah, that makes sense. And that's typical relationship a lot of people have with their grandpas. Like me, my dad, we weren't close, so my grandpa was kind of like the guy, my grandpa and my brother. So I can imagine. I don't know what I would have done without him. But all right, so where are we at? Like, what unfolded after this happened, investigation wise? Like, were the investigators pretty collaborative with you all? Did they communicate a lot? Like, what did we start to learn after this? I think it's important as much as you're comfortable with, we give the details of exactly how he was murdered, how he was found, what was there. So I guess we could start there first about the scene, what you've heard about that we can talk about.
So he was stabbed upwards of 20 times. All stab wounds above the waist. He was found on the trail that is at the overlook at Lake Stevens by a mother and her daughter who were jogging. Thought he was passed out at first. And one of the Lake Stevens maintenance people discovered it was not a pass out.
Right. Is that who called the police?
Yes, I assume so.
Okay.
The Sheriff's Department, Raleigh County Sheriff's Department, has been very responsive. We've had multiple detectives or investigators. All of them have been responsive. I think maybe there's, and this is not really negative at them, I just think there's so much crime that, they're just overwhelmed. I don't have any direct complaints with them. If I send an email and ask a question, I usually have a response very quickly. I will mention Larry Lilly. He was, I will mention him because I feel like he took a outside of the box look at the case and brought a few more, I guess, options to the table.
Sure.
I don't know what.
Well,
what
and
are your thoughts?
I think we should talk about the frustration of, because a typical investigator in Raleigh County, I learned, gets anywhere from 20 to 30 cases added a week. Now, a lot of those are solved same day. Some are solved, within a certain, few days, weeks, whatever. But, when a murder case happens, obviously it's all hands on deck, and, it's unfortunate. I mean, they want to solve it the next day too. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I can relate to that frustration because you just want to know so you can move on, and you can't. It's like there's a wall there.
I mean, that's my dad.
Yeah.
I want somebody on it 24/7.
Oh yeah.
Right. He's my dad.
Yeah.
I want him to have justice.
Yep.
And while I think they do all they can do, they can't be on it 24/7.
Sure.
I read there was some research about West Virginia, not just Raleigh County, but West Virginia. The murder solve rate in West Virginia, I think this was from 2003, is only 56%.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, that would cause me to think, well, maybe we need a special task force. And I understand they've put one together, but there's probably so many cold cases out there. My dad's not going to go to the top of the list anytime soon. Missing people. To me, the opioid epidemic has it's spilled over into other areas, such as cold cases, and takes the time away from those cases.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and like you mentioned about missing people alone, a lot of people are frustrated because the missing list isn't updated typically like it should be. I mean, I learned estimated there's somewhere upwards of 400 people missing from West Virginia right now, which is crazy. There's only around 130 on the list. So you think about that, and all these families out here feeling the same way, and it's just devastating. But, so was he robbed or anything? Did they have any evidence of maybe his wallet being taken or anything like that?
So his wallet was not recovered.
Mm-hmm.
So we only assume he was robbed.
Mm-hmm.
We've never had anything, recovered wallet ID or anything like that.
They didn't find any kind of fingerprints or any kind of thing on the scene?
No,
No,
it rained.
we had a huge storm.
Yeah,
that
we had a
day.
huge storm.
That's right. There was a flood.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, they think, if there
A
was
lot of
anything,
the evidence was destroyed by that storm.
My goodness.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to say. That sucks.
I mean, what else? Golly. I mean, I think that's the 2016 flood that got Raynell
Yes.
and a bunch of different.
Everywhere.
Yep. Phew. It was that day.
It was that day.
Wow. Oh, man. So, yeah, obviously that's going to affect the crime scene. Just a rainy, sloppy day. Have there ever been any leads? Like, has there ever been any time where you're like, oh, we might have it? Or is it kind of just been unanswerable?
We've heard so many stories. We've had people call us and tell us such and such said this or such and such said that. And they've called moms and we've heard a lot of different stories.
They see that money and want some of it.
Yeah.
But is there a reward still out?
Yes.
Okay. What's the information there? If someone has something they can tell.
Call Crimestoppers.
Crimestoppers.
And if that tip leads to an arrest and conviction, they will receive the reward.
Gotcha. Is it an anonymous type deal or?
Apparently, Crimestoppers is an anonymous deal. You put your information in. I don't really know how it works because I haven't called specifically. But the way I understand is you're assigned a code.
Mm-hmm.
And if your tip, that's how they
Gotcha.
match you up is with that code.
Okay. How much is the reward?
25,000.
25,000. Okay. Well, if someone's listening and something can help this family, let's do it, please. As the years keep passing, I mean, has there ever been a time where you see misinformation?
A lot.
A lot.
Yes.
Like in the Creepalachia post, there were 2 comments, and I won't call them out specifically. And I'm just like, if it's on Facebook, it must be true, right?
Sure.
But people who comment and don't know the story, I urge you, if you have a comment, to make sure that it is factual. If you have a tip, call Crimestoppers.
Facebook is not the place.
Yeah, the Facebook comments are
I can't.
obviously they're going to be there.
Sure.
Just make sure your information's factual.
Yeah. No doubt. And it gets crazy. And I'm to the point now I can't even review everything that's being posted. And while I'm grateful for that, there is some crazy stuff that occasionally gets posted on there, and I'm like, whoops. But yeah, I mean, you don't want to spout misinformation on things you don't know.
Correct.
Is there any particular things you want to address that we put to bed here involving those, or you just want to
No, I mean, they were just general comments about, I think one comment was about the license plate, and they said they took him out of the truck. No, they didn't. I mean, he was found on the trail.
Mm-hmm.
We know that. That's been in the newspaper. So, I mean, just comments like that are kind of just make you roll your eyes at times.
Sure, yeah. I'm sure it's, I mean, you're suffering several things. And then unfortunately, when human error gets involved, they make things typically worse. Now, granted, sometimes we can help if someone, obviously knows some information that leads to the truth. but unfortunately that's rare, but it happens. So we gotta be hopeful.
You come on here and I guess this is maybe we both feel this way. You come on here and you kind of put yourself out there and you show your vulnerability.
Yep.
And you know that people are going to have rude comments at times or things like that. He was our dad. I think in our own ways, we both made a promise to find him justice.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 years later, we haven't delivered on that promise. So it's very frustrating. It's frustrating that the sheriff's department doesn't have an answer. It's frustrating that people just jump on Facebook with their comments. It's frustrating that people will not come forward. It's frustrating that his killer is still walking.
Yeah. Or in the system somewhere. We just don't know it, who knows?
Correct.
And the worst thing about it is there is somebody else out there who knows, because you're going to tell somebody that you're close to or something. There's somebody out there other than who killed him that knows what happened that day. Knows exactly how everything went down, knows everything, and they won't do it because they're either scared or they're friends with the person, don't want to get them in trouble, that type of deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that flood is so unfortunate. I think it would have got solved. They would have found something because they're going to leave something behind. It's just according to what that is and finding it is the only thing. Now the Tacoma, tell me about it specifically. So they found it and it was like the wipers were on, wasn't it stuck on the middle of the windshield? Like
yes,
the truck was
the
shut
wipers
off?
had been on and it had been turned off mid
Gotcha.
wipe. We don't know if he drove there or he was taken there. That's been, two different theories. They did take the truck and do an evidence gathering.
Was he murdered inside the truck?
No.
I don't think that there was any blood.
No, they did not find any.
Didn't find any blood.
We still have the truck.
One odd thing about it, and I don't know if they want it said, but it's just kind of odd. He was a person that he grew up a long time ago. There wasn't all these opioids and stuff like that. He wouldn't lock his truck. He just pull in, get out, go in a house, put the keys up, go watch Shark
Never
Tank,
locked his truck.
go to bed.
Truck was locked.
The truck was locked and the door was cracked. He never left it cracked. He would always make sure it was fully shut. So it was kind of odd. And the reason that he would be where he was, because he had been with us a few times. We used to go to the lake every weekend, every 2 weekends. I mean, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
In the weekdays, if she got off early, let's go to the lake. Had a boat, everything. And he went out twice and he did not like it. Did not. He
wasn't familiar.
Swim.
He wasn't familiar with the area. I mean, he asked so many questions. We had him out Memorial Day. They asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and I said, I just had my boat redone. I want y'all to come out with me. And they were hesitant, both my parents.
Is that this photo?
Yes.
Okay, let's see here. I'll show people the photo while you talk about it.
And Kaden and my dad fished. My dad had a shoulder. He needed a shoulder replacement, so he was not able to raise his right arm. And he was very afraid to get on the boat. But once he was on there and we went and parked in a cove, he enjoyed fishing, kind of chilled out a little bit. It was a really good day. Really good day. I spent a lot of time on that boat. The 5 years prior to this, that was our place. I used to travel and I worked a lot of hours, so that was our Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
He and I would go out every Saturday.
Where would you go usually?
Lake Stevens.
Oh, you go to Lake Stevens? Okay.
Mhm. I had a slip. Had it for 5 years. I've never been back.
Oh.
I pulled my boat out and it's been tarped the last 9 years. I've never had it out.
Mm.
But he, the Overlook is not somewhere that I had ever been. I went straight to the marina. I mean, when we were little, we may have gone to the beach, but I would always go straight to the marina.
Right.
He asked so many questions that day. So it was very obvious to me that he was not familiar with the area, would have no reason to be over there.
Sure. Yeah, I have in the post. So why was David a creature of habit with a pronounced limp and no interest in hiking, found in a rugged, muddy area far off his usual route? Why was his blue Toyota Tacoma parked facing away from the Overlook, windshield wipers frozen mid-cycle like the truck had abruptly been shut off in a storm? How did he get nearly 300 feet down an uneven path most 75-year-olds would never attempt? And why was he there at all?
He would never have been able to traverse that.
No,
Was there any evidence he fell down? I mean, how steep are we talking? Which I know you haven't. They tried to get you.
Once.
You went once.
One time.
Okay.
We had to help our mom. She and I and our mom went to the crime scene 9 months after he was murdered. Wish I hadn't gone.
We
But
went
it
with
was-
the detective.
Yes, the detectives took us out there and explained where he was found and what path they think that he was taken to get there.
Mm-hmm.
He would never have walked that by himself. He would never been able to have walked it himself.
Why did he have a limp?
He broke his leg, and when it healed, it
Okay.
healed short.
And another thing that's kind of just it's a funny thing, but it's really true about him. He wouldn't have even attempted that because there was no way he could make money from walking on that trail. He would not do anything. He would not go anywhere. If it wasn't doing with making money, he wouldn't come to Beckley. I mean,
Right. Yeah. And there's no evidence that someone drove his truck or anything of anyone
We don't
else
know.
being there. Yeah.
we don't know.
Don't know. Gotcha. Which, I mean, an investigation like this, I'm sure there's only so much that they can tell you.
Like, personally, I would love to know, but there's things that I don't want to know because I would never want to accidentally repeat them and compromise his case.
Sure.
I mean, I am so dead set on them solving his case. Like, I ask questions and I preface my questions. If this is not something that you can tell me, okay.
Right.
And I have to be okay with that.
Yeah. A lot of times, like, depending on the investigator, they'll let the family in on certain things. And, but yeah, there comes a certain point of like, well, especially with suspects, they got to really keep that stuff tight. Cause if it releases before they even
They
get
would
charged.
not want me to know who the suspect was.
Sure. Well, that too,
Yeah.
There's
There's
reasons for that. And there's danger on both sides.
Right.
Like if certain people know certain things and, it's just a whole.
when you see, this is twofold, and I don't want to sound egotistical, but I took on a lot of responsibility day one. So I've developed this very protective instinct of my family. We're very protective nature. And I'm mad because we don't have justice for him. No one deserves to die the way that he died. No one. My family doesn't deserve to go through what they've had to go through and still don't have an answer 9 years later. Like, like I told you when I came in, I had to take the box down last week and open the box and deal with all these emotions again. She's had to do the same thing. He's had to do the same thing. You know, it's just.
Is it like a box of all the news articles and?
No, just my emotions. I mean, it's kind of figurative. I put them in a box.
Gotcha. Yep. I'm with
and pack them away, and then they come flooding back. But he did not deserve that.
No doubt.
Like, who deserves to get stabbed 20 times?
Nobody.
Like, who deserves to be dumped? And who deserves to walk free after doing that?
Yeah.
And cause my family ongoing pain or ongoing frustration. I don't know what the right word is, but
oh yeah. No, those are all
I'm just
perfect.
very mad.
Yep.
And it makes you bitter at people. So they better never tell me who the suspect is.
Sure, yeah.
For those reasons. I mean, because I've seen the damage that, you know, he's gone. And he died a very undeservingly horrific death. But our family continues to live with that.
Every day.
Yeah.
I mean, if a redbird lands while we're having Sunday dinner, we're just like, hey, Dad's here.
Mm.
You know, I mean, there's some constant reminder every day of him. I mean, his truck's still in the driveway. I will not sell it. I won't move it. It's probably just going to rust and fall apart right there. But it's his.
Yeah. I'd imagine there's so many things going on. Now the truck, I imagine, did they kind of strip it clean and check it, you know, really detailed like after it happened?
Assuming they did.
Okay, and then they gave it back to you.
They did.
Okay,
they had it for
A few weeks, month.
Yeah, a couple of weeks or so.
Yeah, and the license plate of the Tacoma tag is West Virginia tag 01E337. It's a long shot, but so you know, if you saw that truck at Lake Stevens around June 22nd, 2016, be sure to message, you can call Captain Larry Lilly at the Raleigh County Sheriff's Department at 304-255-9300, or Crimestoppers West Virginia does have a $25,000 reward if it turns into a conviction. So let's definitely figure this out. Well, all right. Today, where are we at now? What do we have for Sunday dinner? I mean, let's talk about something.
Whatever they make.
Whatever they make.
My better half smoked a pulled pork last night, so we're having pulled pork for Sunday dinner.
Oh, okay. What, like a Pit Boss grill or something like that? Wood pellet?
It's a wood pellet.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't ask me anything about it. All I know is we have a big wood pellet smoker, and we're having pulled pork Sunday.
Shoot, yeah. Well, that'll be good. Anything else we can add with this case? I mean, I think we gave the basics. You all heard Lake Stevens the same day as the daggone flood of 2016, June 22nd. Found about 300 feet. I think, make sure his feet and not yard. Yeah, 300 feet down an uneven path at Lake Stevens, pointed away from the overlook. And his wallet was gone. So that tells me, was this because of a robbing or just some random, someone with a really bad drug problem, or like how did he get there? Anyone that has any information, DM the page. We can figure it out and keep it anonymous and try to help this family. lastly, as we wrap up here, final thoughts on David. Who was he as a person? I'll go with each one of you. If you want to start, Diana, so people will know, because we just see a picture and then we hear of someone being murdered, and obviously the majority of people have sympathy, but you don't really know who it is.
I just feel like Dad was just grew up poor like a lot of people, self-made man, provided for his family, built the house we grew up in. Could have been anybody's dad. Could have been anybody's brother. I feel like I just can't in my mind think of why it happened to him in particular. I feel like it could have happened to anybody, and I feel like that person's still out there to do it again, or to I guess my hopes of coming on here and doing this is just to get it back out there, get people thinking, get people talking, get them to know, this could have been anybody's dad. This could have been anybody's brother, their family. Just do the right thing. If you do know something, if you do have some information, just come forward and just let somebody know.
For sure. And keep the crazy comments down, y'all. This family is an awesome Appalachian family, very tough. And I'm glad to have met y'all in person now. Kaden, how about you? And what would you like to tell people about your grandpa?
There's a lot I could say, good and bad. He's somebody who is always there for me, I guess. Kind of guided me, kept me on the right track, kind of taught me not to be lazy, which I really could have been. I mean, she was gone out of town just for her job, probably 4 nights a week, 3 nights a week, something like that. He would take care of me. If Grammy had to go do something, I'd go work for him that day and get $5 and an ice cream from Dairy Queen, which I thought was the best thing ever. They always thought it was a good idea, which I see why, to get me a small, but he would always make sure it was a large. He was just not somebody that somebody in their right mind would do that to, because he always would take care of people. Like, I know people say don't do it now, but he would see somebody hitchhiking on the side of the road. He'd pick them up and take them wherever they needed to go. He would, we know people that are on drugs, and a lot of people are like, you don't need to mess with those people, but he'd give them work so they could work and make money, even though they didn't have a house, and they're probably going to use it for the wrong thing, but he would still employ them to help him and do different things. And he was just a community oriented man, brought a positive impact to almost everybody. I mean, I've met people just in Mullins, and everybody in Mullins knows everybody. So they ask you, they're like, well, who's your family? And you tell them, and then they're like, oh, you're David's grandson, and ask how his kids are doing. Like my mom, aunt, they, like, everybody down there knows him, knows of him. He's just a very community guy.
It's good to know. Well, and it's good you mentioned that, because that's the first thing. I'm like, well, it was raining real hard. If he did offer people rides, just being a good person, is that what happened? Did they hold him up? Did they tell him, go here, and then here we are? I mean, that sounds logical, but who knows if it was someone traveling out of state, or if it's just wide open, I guess, on what it actually could be. I forgot to mention, David's also a Vietnam veteran.
Yep. He is.
Yeah.
He was a Vietnam veteran, honorable discharge. I would like to mention that my dad grew up very poor. My dad was very active in the community. We had a very large visitation with every person that I could possibly think of. He mentioned some of the guys that had a drug problem. They were there. We had delegates there. Very large outpouring at his services. He, growing up, it's crazy. I used to think he was the craziest person. He would buy brown bags. And even after I didn't live at home, he would call me and tell me what to buy so that he could make old-fashioned Christmas bags with peppermint, nuts, apples. We always, growing up, had a family or someone that needed help during the holidays. He always made sure they got the help they needed. We have continued that tradition. The first couple of years after he passed away, we had a community Christmas party in his honor at a commercial building we have in Mullins. COVID kind of put the skids on that. But we still do things under the radar, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
We have a couple of guys in Mullins who knew my dad and have been very helpful and very supportive in helping us in that journey. No matter what you think of my dad, or good, bad, indifferent, I mean, no one's going to be loved all the way around. To see 400 and some people show up at a small funeral home in Mullins spoke to the kind of person that he was.
Mm-hmm.
The room probably occupied 50 at max.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
I remember.
And go ahead.
I remember that day just going outside. There was cars so Mullins, you can kind of see, if you're downtown, you can kind of see, kind of like New York in a sense. It's built exactly like New York. There's streets that run like this and streets that run like this. Mm-hmm. And they just pretty much make big T's. You can see all the way down it. And if you're on the other street, you can see all the way down it. And there was cars lined up from one end of the town to the other on one street. Mm. And as we were pulling out to go on the expressway, when we were following the hearse to the graveyard, there was cars all through the town.
We had a gentleman.
Cops were out stopping traffic. There was probably every bit of 300 to 400 cars in a little town that, literally taking up all the streets. I don't think you could have drove through that town that day and been able to get through anywhere because just of how many cars, how many people were there.
Had a gentleman salute him as we were pulling out of town. I'll never forget it. Just the sheer respect.
Oh man. Well, I'm glad the community could get together and remember him, and man, it's just so awful.
He just didn't deserve it.
No, not at all. Well, appreciate you all sharing today. I know, I'm not going to pretend to know what it's been like, but I'm sure it's just so traumatic for you. And Dana, I know the community, even though you're guarded, I know there's several people out there still love you, and I can tell you're really strong, and I appreciate knowing you now, and I'm going to take you up on that Sunday dinner sometime when I get my schedule free, if I'm still allowed. Absolutely. But yeah, nice to meet you too, Diana, and Kaden. Take care of your mom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a handful sometimes.
But all that money you're making, save for a rainy day, you know, gotta pay for, you know, whatever you're planning on. You going to college? What are we doing? No?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Marshall, aviation and finance.
Well, just so you know, I mean, college is great. There's different paths for everybody. But shout out trade schools. But that's awesome. Even though you're going to Marshall, I won't hold that against you.
Well, listen, when you get big time and you fly all over the United States, he can be your pilot.
Okay.
There you go.
Hey,
Well, we'll try.
Trust me, if it was up to me, I'll be honest with you. I kind of, when Marshall came about, it was a one minute decide on, and it was just like decision. I had, I think, a list of 25 schools I'd applied to and got into. I mean, big schools like Virginia Tech, like some crazy schools. And it was like Marshall was the second from the last on my list. And it was like, all of a sudden, it was like, I'm going there.
Heck yeah. Well, listen, Marshall's a great school. I'm just a big WVU fan.
Me
so
too.
it's just, yeah. Listen, I dropped out of college 2 semesters in a row. Don't listen to me. Marshall's great. Love the Herd fans. There's a lot there following the show. So, well, thank you all. And again, you all be sure to message Crime Stoppers. If you have a tip, $25,000 reward. Call the Raleigh County Sheriff's Department. Ask for Captain Lilly. 304-253-9300. Believe is the number there. And DM the show and we'll figure something out. And everyone, before you leave, be sure to like this video, subscribe to Creepalachia on YouTube. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, be sure to take a minute and leave a review. That'll really help the show be found. And we are on Facebook and TikTok, Instagram, all the things. And always remember, last but not least, above all else, long live Appalachia. Rest in peace, David Fann. You have an amazing family here to carry on your legacy. And I'm so glad to know them. And it's all we can say. Thanks, y'all.